some current events today. Well, so today's what draws your attention in today's current events? What do you think is worth mentioning?
I mean, there's a lot of things we could talk about. We could talk about Venezuela, and that's still pretty an ongoing issue. We can talk about what happened in Minneapolis a couple weeks back with that woman.
Well, so
Davos just happened
right
a couple days ago.
Yeah, so I guess Venezuela is an ongoing event, if that's even a term. Where
scandal,
right? Where the president of Venezuela was kidnapped and is now in jail in the United States, and I guess obviously that's a incredible infringement on the sovereignty of Venezuela.
100%.
And
it's an act of war. It's motivated primarily by U.S. interests, specifically Shell's interest in extracting oil from Venezuela, company who's pretty consistently said no to U.S. not even, because they said yes to Exxon.
No, they said yes to Chevron.
Chevron, excuse me.
Right.
Apologies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I don't even know. I don't know what can be said more other than I don't think anyone's getting what they want. Because the Chavez system is still there. So all the people in the US who are celebrating the socialist regime is not going anywhere. Or it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere unless they put more sponsorship money into the US-backed opposition party, which could happen. I don't know. I think probably what should happen, Maduro's going to stand trial, and I think they're going to have to do some pretty complex legal jiu-jitsu to get him on anything. All the fentanyl stuff is kind of bogus. This is primarily about exploitation of resources, and I think it's entirely possible to me. I think Donald Trump should be probably impeached because it is it's a war act without the approval of Congress. It's a military action not approved by the representatives of the people. And I don't know where we even go from here. I don't, because if Venezuela was drifting towards Russia already, it's definitely drifting closer to Russia now. It's definitely, and like my dad points out, a lot of people aren't considering it's not just oil. Russia and Venezuela put together have something, 30% of the world's clean drinking water?
Fresh water, yeah.
Yeah. So
well,
it's
Venezuela, Nicaragua, and Brazil, and I believe Colombia together own 30% of the fresh water. And if they align themselves with Russia and China, Russia has 20% of the fresh water alone in the Baikal Lake. And so,
right.
So you put that on top of 30% that's 50 now. Half the fresh water in the world is controlled by entities that are supposedly not aligned with the U.S. interests. And by the way, Lake Baikal is pretty big, but there's another lake.
There's the Volga too, right?
Right, Volga is the biggest river in Europe.
Is it? It's not the Danube.
The Danube, I believe, the Danube is the longest, but it's not the biggest. The biggest by volume of water is Volga.
Okay, in terms of surface volume of water inside it.
Flown. Yeah.
Okay.
The volume of water that's flown.
Gotcha.
And it's entirely on Russian territory. It's owned entirely by Russia. Danube is flowing through so many countries.
EU. It's like EU country.
But then the Lake Baikal is one, and then there's another lake up north. Timir something. That is. From the looks of it, it looks bigger than Lake Baikal. So I may be wrong. I don't have all but it is pretty big. It's a big lake.
Yeah.
Up in one of those islands. What is it called here? And we'll probably Taimyr, Lake Taimyr.
Taimyr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's huge. That alone is a huge lake. By comparison, Lake Baikal, you don't even see... no, you do. You see it on the map. It's pretty big. Lake Baikal arguably is a sea.
Yeah.
Lake Taimyr is also pretty... It's a huge
landlocked sea.
Well, it's not... It's fresh water, though. I'm not sure about Taimyr. I'll look it up and see if it's a... Is it a freshwater? I believe it is, because I don't see it being connected to
salt water,
to sea.
Yeah.
So I think it's possible that
I want to also briefly say, I think...
it's a freshwater lake.
Yeah.
Lake Taimyr is a freshwater lake. Lake Baikal is so big, they even have seals.
Nah.
And
Holy shit.
Yeah. There's freshwater seals, I believe. Only species of freshwater seals is on Lake Baikal. Lake Taimyr is up north. I wouldn't be surprised if they have... I wouldn't even be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they find new species around these lakes. Like it's crazy. So I think to kind of complete not to complete, but to add to the image of what's going on in Venezuela. My worry is that this creates a huge precedent for now. It's Donald Trump. It's doing it. What what he's doing. At some point, what if a different president of a superpower country like China or Russia kidnaps a smaller country president.
Yeah. The president of Taiwan now, she's vulnerable too. This is
we don't want to sure. I could see the Chinese president say like, "Hey, this is what we're doing."
Yeah, Xi Jinping now has. You guys did it. Fuck you.
I've been thinking about this for a while. I thought we weren't doing that, but now let's do it. arguably a lot of the Baltic Sea countries' presidents might be feeling a little iffy about this. Romania,
Yeah.
the Romanian president might be feeling strange about this. Who knows? I also want to say that I feel really awful about this, but I also think that Nicolas Maduro has. I know it's probably out there, and I'm gonna rub some people the wrong way, but Nicolas Maduro, it looks like you don't have any recourse or anything. If why don't you turn this into a when life gives you lemons, have a lemonade? Hire some good lawyers. I know Venezuela has money to hire some kick-ass international law lawyers.
Yeah.
And put it out there. I'm pretty sure stuff. The trafficking of drugs. There's a lot of stuff that the American people and the world in general would like to know. If this is going to be a trial, and you'll have discovery and all of those standard procedures of a trial.
Yeah, during discovery, that has to all come out.
Yeah, get it out there and let us know. Because obviously we need help to be educated on who we elect. And it's hard for us to make an informed decision if there's a conspiracy at the high level that Nicolas Maduro is probably aware of. And so, I know it's not necessarily his duty to the American people to educate us. But if you're a victim, don't...
Sure, if it comes out that he was actually doing narco-terrorism...
Yeah, don't do the Milosevic...
kill yourself in court.
Yeah. It's surprising to me, like, hey, if you're gonna end up killing yourself, might as well go out with a bang, I guess. I know it sounds cynical, and maybe I should retract that.
I mean, sure. The narco-terrorism thing reeks of the same rhetoric, the same ideas put during the Iraq War, the same justifications, the same even like they still used weapons of mass destruction for fentanyl. Like you're not trying to be subtle.
No,
I think
they're thinking that we're stupid a lot more than we actually are.
Oh, and like,
however, you should also people should also be aware that George W. Bush did the war in Iraq, and by the end of his first term, I remember he was running for a second term mainly by inertia, because nobody else in the Republican Party showed up to pick up the mantle, I guess.
No, not really.
And he at that time he was challenged by John Kerry as the Democrat, and the race was tight. They had debates, and the second Bush administration, or the George W. Bush administration first term, created such a weak and fragile house of cards that when reporters or people in the audience would ask John Kerry, what are you gonna do to solve these problems that you're accusing the runner, that you're accusing the president? How are you gonna solve it? He didn't have an answer because the mess was so big that it was hard to say, yeah, I'm just gonna end the war in Iraq. Really? How are you gonna do that? There's this and there's that.
Yeah.
And in the end, George W. Bush ended up being elected for a second term. Even I think he already packed to get out of the White House, and he didn't even know.
He's like, I won? Okay.
You got to do it again.
Sure, whatever.
Good Lord. So
get me out of here, man.
yeah, so he ended up being the president for a second term. But so the same goes here, you're picking up fights everywhere in the world, trying to do this Greenland deal and the Ukraine war deal and then the Gaza deal.
Which, do you know?
All of these deals that are,
Yeah.
there's so many plates on the sticks and you're got to figure out which one. You're juggling so many variables. It's hard for somebody that's not in the White House. I would imagine, like, if they had debates, you ask let's say Gavin Newsom,
Right.
he's gonna be like, what? And I'm at this point, it's gonna be hard to stop anything. You gotta kind of keep going. So whenever somebody's gonna say, well, I'm gonna go and end this and end that policy,
Right.
yeah.
Well, so that's all true.
Yeah.
I agree. Sorry, because you brought up Greenland, and I wanted to. So because I think a lot of people are like, first of all, because we were talking about it earlier, and you were like, oh, oil and the fact that the Chinese military is operating in that region, which is true. That is true, and it is, from a certain standpoint, a national security concern. But I've read a little bit more about it. So that is, first of all, Peter Thiel, who's a prominent Trump donor, one of the most prominent Trump donors, owns a bunch of venture capitalist firms in Norway. And sorry, not Norway, in Greenland. Promonos Capital, Praxis. He has gone on record as stating he wants to build basically a server farm and a resort in Greenland for...
Yeah, but I don't know if we need to conquer them to take them completely under our wing, but
yeah, he's trying to do like a Argentina libertarian paradise regime where him and his rich buddies can go and live in Greenland, I guess.
Right.
It's it's a giant smoking mirror. It's another obfuscation, and also because of the timing that came up in, also I strongly believe that Greenland is another tactic being used to obfuscate the Epstein file debacle. But returning to Venezuela,
let's return to Venezuela, but also let's point out that all of these shows are making, especially Donald Trump and his circles, happy, because we can talk about anything, just
not the files.
Just let off the files. And that's why we should not let off the files.
Do you see even
Thomas
Nick
Massey
Fuentes
and Ro Khanna, for sure, from this perspective, they are
all of this is a
heroes.
giant ploy to get you to stop talking about Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
But did you see the fucking really quick? Another small side. Did you see what Nick Fuentes said? He's like, I don't think y'all are ready for this, but I think Jeffrey Epstein was cool as fuck.
Well, yeah, I also don't think.
I think they got him on something. I think they got him on like child porn on the hard drive, something crazy.
I think we should not talk about the.
No, I'm not trying to.
Yeah. Let's not make news out of news. Let's not. He's a news guy. Nick Fuentes is not a public servant. He's not run for any office. In my opinion, he doesn't represent anybody.
No.
And so it's whatever he says in his room. I don't think it's a basement. I think it's a nicely decorated room. But regardless, it's his opinions are his opinions.
Whatever. I just think
we have our own opinions, and I think we should.
I think it's interesting. Do you see how fast he turns around on his anti-Zionist? Do you see how he's
trying to influence. Yeah, he's trying to influence, and he's trying to sell his influence. But let's go back to Venezuela. So
Venezuela.
Yeah. Let's close that.
Another thing I want to add, and I think because a lot of people I think are aware. I think a lot of people understand that this is United States economic imperialism morphing into military imperialism. We did not want to give Venezuela a chance to play ball fair. We wanted to take their oil and have them shut up. And just like Ecuador, just like all of South America, and Central America.
And by we mean, in this case means
the American corporatists.
Oligarchs of...
Yes.
Probably not even the oligarchs only of the Americas. Probably the oligarchs of the world. Yeah. So it's not really. They didn't have a chance, and we, the American people, have not voted for this. Nobody in the common folk in any other country are supporting this action.
No.
So yeah.
But I want to really quickly. I want to kind of say that I think the reaction from the Venezuelan diaspora in America, I think the reaction has been very misinformed on their part.
I don't even think that it's on us.
Your
to
country
judge
is
them.
not. But historical precedent tells us that wherever the United States steps to claim a resource, it's not for democracy, it's not for liberty, it's not to make your people's lives better, it's for a resource. Wherever the United States steps to claim a resource, your country will decline, and it will decline rapidly.
Listen, I think that the Venezuelan diaspora, just like the Romanian diaspora during Ceausescu's time, are going to the streets, and they left the country because there was a dictator there. And it is possible that they are right and we are wrong. You can say that they're misinformed, but we really don't know if they're misinformed or not. They do exercise a constitutional right of freedom of speech and freedom of assembly.
Oh, they have that right, absolutely.
So
I'm just saying I don't think...
express it.
Yeah.
And if there's many of them and plenty of them, great. If there aren't, that's also great. Because in the end, the majority has to win. And if Nicolas Maduro is an honest man and he's done nothing wrong, he can prove that in the trial, and it's too bad that he has to do that against the sovereignty of his country. He has to do all of that. But in today's
Do you
world,
think that legal system is going to be fair?
I believe that this in today's world, he has avenues to make it fair. If you look at, Slobodan Milosevic, he killed himself, but there was no Facebook, there was no Twitter, there was no Twitch, there was no Instagram, there was nothing. If Nicolas Maduro is right, his lawyers and his party in Venezuela can interact with the world and make their statements and defend themselves in the public court. And if that's the case, great. If not,
I want to say that the Venezuelan people have every right to do that. I'm not saying you can't. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I am saying you should be very, very wary about what comes next. Because again, the Chavez regime is not gone. His vice president is now in control.
yeah,
And if Romania is anything to go off of, if Ecuador is anything to go off of, if Panama is anything to go off of, if Honduras is anything to go off of, all of these countries where the United States has freed you from a dictator to privatize everything within your borders, you're almost always going to see everything get a lot worse before it gets better.
And Ceausescu's trial is online on YouTube. You can find it.
Trial.
Right. Whatever. Yeah. You can see all of the history, even the Nicaragua history, and it may be some of it might be propaganda or propagandized. It's still, there's information out there. And so, yeah, of course, be careful, but at the same time, inform yourselves and educate yourself.
Yeah.
And it goes back to education is what is probably going to save the world in the end.